All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to TSG Livestream number 12. And I just realized I didn't have my lighting set up. So this is going to be a little, give me a second, Okay, okay, give me a second. Let me get everything organized real quick. All right, looking a little better. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. Oh man, even my light not even on. Like, what am I doing? There we go. All right. Ooh, almost fell. You see that? All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. What's going on, Eleanor? How you doing? What's going on with you? Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking a break out of your time, out of your evening to share it with me and all that good stuff. Um, Man, so much has happened. So much has gone on. We've talked about so much over the last couple of weeks, last couple of live streams. I feel like um, I feel like life is really testing right now, and not just for me, but for each and every one of us. I feel like life is just trying to test us, and I don't know. I don't know what we're getting prepared for. Hopefully we're coming into something bigger and better than ourselves. I like to believe that. I like to believe that we all are tested sometimes, that we all go through it. And we have those times where we doubt ourselves and we doubt our abilities. And, like we feel like we aren't where we should be, or, maybe again, we doubt ourselves and our ability to be able to accomplish, what we need to. And that really sucks when you come to that crossroads where you're like, am I doing something wrong? Right? Are my abilities not good enough to be doing what I'm doing? Or am I not living up to my fullest potential? When we have those moments at the crossroad where we are questioning ourselves, maybe doubting our abilities of what we should be doing, that's a good place to be. And today's story is one of those examples where um, I'm going to talk about that today with you all. I'm going to share this story with you guys. So without further ado, we're going to get to the next section of the channel, which is the shout outs. First of all, we have Eleanor here from Eleanor Elaborates. Hey, I am here. I'm going to take a brief break from my online lecture that I am working through. Thank you, Eleanor. Again, I'm going to repeat this. I saw what you wrote. And thank you for allowing me to have a moment of your time. I know that your studies are taking up your time. Check out Eleanor's channel. It's a very lovely channel where she does covers, does different things that she shares her life with us. And I'm appreciated that you're sharing your life with us today. Thank you, Eleanor. And then you have my boy Neil. I have a story to tell. What's up, brother? How you doing? I know he out there working hard and again sharing his time with us here today. I am very appreciative of that. I apologize if my energy seems down. My sleep schedule's been all over the place, and so um, I'm kind of operating on nap status at this moment. But that's good because it'll allow me to actually get my tail to bed on time tonight, like I should. Okay. See what else is going on in the chat here. Eleanor, today's been a good day. I spent time with the peer today, and I needed time with others. That's good. Hopefully, that helps you to accomplish and do the things that you need to do. That's just what's up. Eleanor says, yes, I doubt my abilities a lot, which is why I take my time out to have a positive influence in my life, as I often need to be reminded of how incredible I am to be where I am. Yes, you are. You are very blessed, Eleanor. And then you got My boy True Gemini, Henry in the house. What up, brother? Good to see you in the live stream. I appreciate you being here. I saw you had, it was like, yo, I'm going live for a little, like, yo, man, he must don't know I do lives every Wednesday at the exact same time for the last, like I'm on live stream number 12. So really it's been kind of like 9 weeks I've been doing this, a little bit over 2 months now, that I've been doing live streams, and I am appreciative of you being here. You guys should check out True Gemini's channel. Talks realness. You may not be ready for what he's spitting, but you should respect it. And he's a good dude, and I'm proud to call a friend now. And I thank Neil for Neil's channel for hooking us up through that. Okay. Neil says, yeah, been what? Been what? Oh, productive. Yes, he's been productive. Okay. Yeah, Neil says he's been productive. Yeah, I know you have, brother. I seen you on there doing some stuff. Okay. I see you working on some things. Okay. Whatever you're doing, you got in the works. I am happy for you. And hopefully it yields the results that you're looking for. While we're already on this subject, you all, I am doing the same thing. All right. I am working for the same thing. There's some things that I'm going to start doing with the channel that I want this channel to be a little bit more focused, right? I'm still going to do some of the things. 1 second, y'all. Computer. Stop. Okay, this was one of those little weird. Remember I had made that a little comedy sketch with me and Alexa? Yeah, she was just sitting here, just blue, just listening, taking in the atmosphere, I guess. Skynet was listening. Okay. So Eleanor says, yes, I've been more motivated lately. I got more content probably coming on Friday. That's good. I look forward to seeing it, Eleanor, and I hope you all will check it out as well. But as I was saying, I got some things I'm working on. I am attempting to kind of niche down a little bit more. I'm still going to do, I got a good comedy sketch I wrote. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be a little challenging, a lot challenging, right? So that's why I wrote it. I hope I can get it out by Friday, but it's going to, like the script is written, it's going to take a lot of filming. So I'm thinking at least the vision of it, right? So I got to see how it plays. And also, I don't know how it's going to like come out. So I don't know. There's another way I could do this and film it a different way that'll be a little bit easier. But I almost want the challenge of putting out like a good product, because what I see in my head, I think could be a really good product. So I would like to do that. I'm also trying to get one more fitness video out for the end of this week. It's going to be real quick, but it's going to be some good stuff. If you don't know, there's also a partner channel that I have, or a second channel, the Simsational Fitness and Wellness. And there we talk about things health, fitness, and wellness related. And I would tell you that there's some good stuff there. So if you don't know about that, go check that channel out. Please subscribe. And I promise you, like, I don't put out as much info there. Like probably once a week, I try to get a video out. But I promise you, it's really high quality stuff. And the reason why it takes me a week to get that type of stuff out is because I make sure that I do my research. There's things I know. There's health and fitness stuff that I know that I've been doing for a long time. I've trained people for many decades while my time in the military and outside of it. And I will say that I take the time to put in the work to make sure that that product is coming to you and is good. That'll help you out. Okay. Anyway, you guys are here for this story. So let's get into it, you all. Who is Zion Clark? Okay. So I was on Facebook, or not Facebook, I was on social media or something like that, and I came across this story of this young man named Zion Clark. Now, I'm going to tell you who Zion Clark is. This young man is absolutely extraordinary. Okay. Zion was born with no legs. Okay. Zion was born with a disability, one of which that many of us take advantage of. See, we have so much going on for ourselves. We have so much to be grateful for, right? We complain that we're feeling old today, that our aches and our pains get to us. And I have a lot to complain about in that department, as technically you guys don't know it, but I have a number of disabilities myself. I never talk about it though. I never talk about the things I'm suffering from, right? I might bring it up here a little bit there, but I usually talk about it in joke or in jest. But there are things that I suffer from that you guys may or may not know about. And a lot of it I keep private, okay? But there's a lot of disabilities and a lot of things I've gone through because of my time in the military that I've suffered from, right? But it's not about me. Let's get back to Zion's story. Who is Zion? Okay. So he was diagnosed, or he was born with a condition called caudal regressive syndrome, where he was born without legs. And due to his birth mother's inability to care for him, Zion, he was placed in the foster care system because his mom couldn't take care of it. Okay. And he would spend most of his young adult life in the foster care system. So this young man had to, not born with this condition, born without parents. He was bullied. He was abused. They didn't even feed him all the time, or they underfed him. So Zion had all of this stuff going against him. Now, I am a spiritual person. I don't consider myself religious, but his belief and his faith gave him the optimism to continue to push and drive on. This is Zion in a nutshell. This young man, again, was born without legs, and he was born in 1997. I like to think back about what I was doing in 1997, and to give myself away, I had just gotten out of high school, and I remember I was on my own, right? I was living on my own, and that was a rough year. You've heard me talk about it on the channel. You guys have heard me talk about my trials and tribulations of being homeless, and that was one of the 3 times that I was homeless. Was when I left my mom's house. Now, I was sleeping from place to place, but I was hungry and I went through a lot of stuff. I've talked about that here on this channel. But Zion was born around the same time. And this young man was placed in foster care with no one to take care of him. At least I had a mother who did love me and does love me. Me and my mom are pretty tight. It's just that she was going through some things and I had to get out on my own. Okay. So we could all be lucky for what we have, but we'll get into that soon. So now we're going to get into the actual Zion story. We're going to talk about Zion's story. So again, as I talked about, Zion was in the foster care system. He was bullied. He was abused. That's tough. No love, underfed. And through it all, he maintained his faith and his belief in who he was and what he was doing, right? And even though he was physically different than everybody else, he still was positive. He still was humble. This young man remained humble through his circumstances and his disabilities. And he made sure that he continued to study. Zion made sure that he continued to learn and grow, and he still tried to make friends and be at peace with his situation. That's Zion. He still excelled academically. That's Zion. Now, while he was young, somewhere around elementary school, Zion would be introduced to wrestling. And listen, when you're underfed and you're abused and stuff, you start getting into these sports. He didn't do well at wrestling when he first started out. When he first started out, he didn't even win a match for many years. Okay. So he wound up meeting a coach that he could relate to, that was willing to take Zion under his wing so that he could develop him and take that tenacious attitude and focus it toward wrestling that Zion loved and had a passion for. And they had a great bond in which that guy was a mentor to young Zion. Okay. And then over, and now this was like, he didn't win a lot, but he went to high school. And then that's when he found this specific coach that took him under his wing and helped him to learn how to be a better wrestler and probably a better man and a better person. And Zion was already a great person in spirit and demeanor and all that good stuff. All right. So this coach would take him and develop him, right, into a great high school wrestler. He put him in the weight room so that this guy, and then Zion just took to it. Always in the weight room, always working on his body. Okay. Now, during his high school years, like right before he was getting ready to process out of high school, or not of high school, out of the foster care system, Zion would get adopted. A woman that was in need of a son saw Zion as a blessing, despite his disability, despite the fact that he had no legs. This woman cared and loved for him as her own because she was in need of a son and he was in need of a mother. How many of us are in need of love? How many of us were in need of love at some point? How many of us were in need of somebody to believe in us when no one else did? How many of us need someone that can see past our flaws and our disabilities and our inabilities and all the limitations that we have as human beings and willing to love us? That woman did that for Zion and took him in and adopted this young man, despite the fact that he had no legs, despite the fact that he had a disability that was going to make it challenging for her to take care of him and look after him. That woman was there in young Zion's life, right? That woman was there for him. But back to Zion's story. Zion would go on to wrestle and he would get better, and he was in the weight room, so he got stronger. He worked at his craft. He put in the time. He put in the effort. He did what was necessary to make himself better. And his senior year, this guy with no legs wrestled and finished 33 wins, 15 losses. And he was one match away for qualifying for Division I at the Ohio State Wrestling Championships. Okay. And he only lost to an opponent in overtime, 2 overtimes, because he really wanted to win. And this guy did it. Okay. And then he would go on to go to college, in which case he would start training for the Olympics. And he also would do the wheelchair Olympics. So not only did he continue to wrestle, but Zion would go on to train for the Olympics. All right. So listen, he did his best. He also does powerlifting. He also does wheelchair bodybuilding, and he also does circus arts. Okay. So this man did not let his disabilities and his limitations and the fact that he had no legs stop him from being the best version of Zion that he could be for him. How many of us can say that we've put all of our talents out there and go after something voraciously, so voraciously that we were willing to squeeze the best of ourselves out? Like, I think that a number of you that I'm talking to have done well in life, and that's good. I applaud you. But have you given it your all? Have you given up on yourself sometimes and some days and been down? I have. I'm going to raise my hand. As much as I've achieved in my life, I consider myself successful. But I look at Zion's story and I said, man, I could have gave it a little bit more. I could have gave that lemon a little bit more squeeze. This young man has no legs. He doesn't quit. He hasn't quit. Let's go to the chats real quick and see what y'all talking about. Elo says, those who can see you are more than a disability, see you as more than a disability are magical people, as the greater school system isn't set up for us. So we have to have the resilience to break down barriers. Absolutely. And Eleanor, I know that you understand about that stuff and you deal with it all the time. And good on you to continue to push through your disabilities and your limitations to try to aspire higher. That's respectable. Henry says, that's right there. That right there is beyond powerful. Absolutely. You know, and that's what it, Henry, man, that's what I felt when I saw this story. I was licking my chops from having my car stolen. I was still licking my wounds, bro. I was still sitting there thinking like, woe is me. And then I started coming through, you see in the live streams, and I had the mindset, but man, I was licking my chops over a car, and here it is. Man, I still got 2 legs, which I did say that in the live stream. I can still walk. I can still have all that. I talked about being grateful. Count your blessings, for they are many, is what I said on a number of these live streams, a number of occasions. And here this man has no legs. Born in a system where no one loved him. Underfed. Underappreciated. Bullied. And yet, despite the odds, this man pushed through. Zion Clark pushed through. Henry says, yo, no excuses for real. That's right, man. No excuses. We ain't got no excuses, man. Henry is absolutely correct. All right? Henry is absolutely correct. Eleanor is absolutely correct. There is no excuses. You push through despite. Yeah, there are going to be some hard days. Look, there's the motivational story that Zion has. And we don't get to see all the hard days in between. But isn't that the heart of a champion, that you don't see the hard times in between? You don't get to see all the bad times, the struggles, the sleepless nights, the long work days, the hard effort putting in. We don't get to see all that behind the scenes. We don't get to see the work. We see the finished buffered product. And we think, wow, that's inspirational. Are you willing to put in the work? That's the question. Are you willing to put in the work to be a champion? Are you willing to put in the work to get to a point in your life where you can extract the benefits and reap the fruits of the rewards of the work of your hands? Are you willing to do that? Do you have the intestinal fortitude, as my uncle likes to tell me? Do you have the intestinal fortitude to push through when you have limitations and disabilities and situations where you may not be the best you could be? Are you a self-starter? Are you willing to do that? Let's go back to the chat. Elo says, you can't let it stop you. I didn't let my challenges stop me. I am at a #1 graduate program at the #1 graduate program in the country for what you are doing. Yes, you are, Eleanor. Yes, you are. And I'm proud of you for it. I'm proud that you're pushing on despite your limitation, your disabilities. You're not letting it stop you. And your story is going to be, and your story currently is, and will be, as you accomplish more in your young life, you're going to be such a testimony to so many people. You're going to be such a blessing to so many people. Continue on. I hope that us talking about this motivates you even more to push through when you have those dark days, when you have those dark times, when people don't believe in you, when you don't believe in yourself. See, that's a champion. See, some people can get over not people believing in them. You know, like people don't believe in me. How many people y'all out there right now? A lot of y'all are content creators right there in the chat. How many people don't believe in what you're doing? I'm sure a number of y'all people don't believe what you got going on. They don't understand why you're pushing and why you're driving. I think everyone in this chat has over a year of experience at a minimum at doing this. How many people still don't believe you after a year? How many people ain't rocking with you? Let's get back to the chat. Neil says, as I'm driving, I had to pull over. This touched me. Man, it touched me too, Neil. It touched me so much, I had to bring this story to you guys. This right here was going to be its own dedicated episode as a part of what I'm going to start doing with this channel. And I said, you know what? Nah, this is too good. I'm going to share it. I could always clip this out later. This was too good to share. Because y'all don't even know right now, I'm still going through it. I just signed this 6-month lease for this apartment, and I had a moment where I could have gotten out of this lease and going on and traveled. And I'm like, I'm not prepared for this. I'm going to take this 6 months and really hunker down and get done the things I need to get done. I'm going to take this 6 months and really focus in and really hone in on the things I need to do. Here it is. I didn't even know where I was going to go. I will know where I'm going in 6 months. I will have an idea of what I'm about to do. Zion's story touched me to say, what am I doing? What have I really done to prepare for me to leave the way I should? Am I ready? Technically, you don't have to be ready. Just go and do it. And that's a whole nother topic that we can talk about. Sometimes you just go and do it. But y'all know me. I like to have a plan. And I was not prepared for just the eventuality that I could just up and leave. And that's on me, because I haven't been doing everything that I should be doing. I haven't been working at full capacity. Eleanor says his story is like mine. I was seen as invisible and mute as a kid. My abilities weren't seen until I continued going, despite people thinking I couldn't get through middle school. Absolutely. I know you can relate to this story, Eleanor. I know you can relate. We've talked on many occasions offline, off of this, about what you've gone through. And that's why I'm glad you're here in today's chat. That's why today's live stream. I'm glad you're here. Matter of fact, it was meant for you to be here, I would say. And everybody that's listening. All right. We have True and I. And Eleanor elaborates. You're definitely going to be touching lives. Keep pushing. That's right. Man, she's doing great things. She's trying. She's doing her best. She's paving the way for others right now that have similar limitations and that she has. I won't even call them limitations. Challenges. We'll call them challenges. Okay. Eleanor says, I want to be an inspiration to others like myself. You have to take risk. If you don't, you never know what could have happened. You never know unless you try. Eleanor, that is perfect segue into what I'm trying to say about Zion taking risk, okay? Now, the next part of this story in Zion's, you guys bear with me because I want you guys to see this next part. So I want you guys to see this next thing that I'm about to put up for you guys, okay? I'm going to see if you guys can see it. You know that I can share my screen with you guys. So give me a second so that I can go ahead and prep my screen for you all to see. I believe that this is going to be a blessing for you all. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it just automatically does that. That's something I don't like about this. I wasn't prepared to share it, but I will. Gonna hide that. We're gonna bring this up. Right now, I'm gonna come off the screen and I'm gonna play this video. I don't want it to have sound, so I don't know how we make that happen. But I'm gonna talk, and I want you guys just to watch the video as I play it. And I hope this inspires you guys. I know I do this as a podcast so you can listen. I will narrate through this, but I want you guys to see what I saw. I want you guys to experience this the way I see it. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna share this part of the screen here. Now you guys can see this. You guys can see Zion. That's Zion. Okay. I hope you guys can't hear the audio. I'm not trying to get struck with the audio, but there's this young man right here. There's the young man that was bullied as a kid. Okay. This was the man that had the limitations of operating with no hands. Now, what you're going to see here is Zion, despite his limitations, despite everything he's been through, Zion is him trying out right here for the world record for the fastest man on two hands. Now, you know what happened when he went through that sensor. What happened was he ducked his head at the last second, so it didn't catch him. So he had to run it again. He had to run it again, and he's still less than 5 seconds. He told him, he said, man, look, I'm gonna come in less than 5 seconds. That's on the real. He said, go check it. I told y'all I was going to do it. Told you. That's what he's saying right now. So he is currently the fastest man on two hands. Look at that. Look at the work ethic this man puts in. You have to put in the work ethic to become a world record holder. You have to believe in yourself when no one else will. You have to be able to be a self-starter and say, I'm not going to allow my limitations to stop me from training, from no excuses, like Henry said. That's on his back, Henry. Now, that's the lady right there that wound up adopting him, that took the chance on him, that gave him the opportunity to be loved and to love. She took a chance on this young man, but he also took a chance on her. And now he has a mother. She has a son. Isn't it lovely when you have someone to believe in you? When you have someone that's in your corner, it makes you work harder. It makes you push on through the hard times. It makes you get through it, man. It really makes you have something to work for. And this man works hard every day to be the best, to be the strongest, to push himself beyond his limitations. Now that's him practicing wrestling. He still gets at it. Look at that. That's that man without legs still up here competing. And they're giving it his all. They're not just trying to, he's good. He good. He's strong. He may not have legs, but man, he's strong. You got a hard time trying to deal with this dude. As I talked about earlier, he's also in the wheelchair Olympics. And I'm sure he's going to be competing in the future doing that stuff. But right now, his story is a testimony, right? His story is a blessing. Look at this. This young man, despite his limitations, he's doing the thing. He is a world record holder. He is a world record holder. Fastest man on two hands. No excuses. No excuses. What are you doing today? What are you doing to push yourself to be better? Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing today? Man, when I seen that story, you guys, it touched me. I was like, man, what am I doing? Am I giving it my all? No. Look, I have a lot of shortcomings. Man, I'm trying to figure it out day by day. I smile through a lot of pain, through a lot of heartache. I smile despite of it. I don't let those things hold me back or hold me down. I talk with you guys. That's not a fake smile. That's real. You have to muster the joy from within. Nobody can make you happy but you. Someone can't just come in your life. Like, you might get happiness from them, but that happiness springs from you. You have to find happiness within yourself. Go back to the chat. Henry says, that's a blessing. It blessed me to watch that story, and I hope it blessed you all to watch it as well. Eleanor says, just because things are harder doesn't mean you can't achieve big things. That is absolutely correct. Matter of fact, some of the biggest things that have been achieved by those who people look down upon for one reason or another, whether it be their physical limitations or what they could perceive to be their mental limitations. Sometimes people were perceived to be less because of what they look like. You don't come in the package or the mold that we like, so we're dismissing you. I know that I am not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. I've gone through that my whole life. I'm not out here trying to please everyone. I am here lending my voice to those who love motivational stuff, those who aspire to be their best selves. That's why here at the Simsational Gent, we talk about living your best life. That's just not a catchphrase. That's something I learned through pain. That's something I learned through hardship. That's something I learned when people gave up on me. I talked about this on the channel, where I had to wear my Scarlet A around because I had messed up. And I had people doubting me, doubting my abilities, doubting who I am, doubting me because I was going through stuff and I needed help and nobody was there. My whole life has been a story or a testimony of people not being there for me when I need them. But you know what? When you're a strong person, you got to have broad shoulders. You got to have broad shoulders. Strong people go through so much, ask for so little back in return, and expect it to do great things despite. That's Zion Clark. That's Zion Clark. A strong individual who has to shoulder the burdens of those who can't shoulder it for themselves. Is that you? Maybe it's not, and that's okay. Maybe you need someone to just fill your cup up a little bit more for you. Maybe you need to have, every one of us need to have our cup refilled at the times. And for me, this story of Zion Clark helped refill my cup a little bit. Let me know that I'm not doing everything that I should do. See, I'm what you call a self-starter. I can see something, I can gain motivation from it. I can look at something, I can gain motivation. It may take a minute, but I'll get there. But sometimes we need a little help. You can't be strong by yourself all the time. You don't get to where you're at without a little help, without a little motivation, without a little somebody come around and give you a little spark, or something that you see giving you a little spark. It could be something out in nature. It could be something out in the environment. But something has to give you that spark to push on when it's hard, when the times get tough. You understand what I'm saying, y'all? You understand? Eleanor says, I mean, look at Amanda Gorman. She has a speech impediment and learning disability. Yet she was the poet laureate. Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure I got it off the screen. Sorry about that. She inspired me in January 2021 as she has the same challenge as me. Yet she has been recognized by the country. And I'm sure she'll be recognized even more later, Eleanor. Neil says, yes, this is a blessing. My goodness, man. This story touched me so much, man. It hit me in the heartstrings, bro. It hit me in, am I doing everything I'm supposed to be doing? Eleanor says, yes, I wouldn't be where I am today without my high school. And thank goodness they had a program to be there for you and help you out and to be patient with you. Because look, you guys don't know this, but I went and I did nuclear engineering. For you all that are home that don't know or watching this for the first time or haven't checked out the Sensational Gent, welcome if you're this far into the live stream. But you all may not know that I did really well in school coming up. I did. And then I got into the military and I went into the nuclear engineering program. And the first school was kind of challenging. I kind of didn't really put as much effort as I should have in there. But my second school is all theory based. A lot of theory in that school. And I struggled. I almost failed out. I barely passed. You needed a 250, 250, which is like barely over 60%, barely over 50%, okay, to pass this school. And on my last exam, I had a 251. I barely made it. I barely made it through the nuclear engineering school. If you fail that school, you get sent back to the fleet to go do something else, but you don't get to do nuclear engineering. And I remember one day in my third school, I remember there was in this school, there's all these desks, there's all these rows of cubicles, and there's cubicles, there's somebody on the other side of you, and then there's a row, and there's just, 30 to 50 students on a row, and there's multiple rows or something like that. Maybe there's 20 rows or 20 desks on a row, and there's like all these rows. So it has enough room to fit hundreds and hundreds of students. And I stood up one day in that cubicle because I was trying to stretch my legs. And I looked around. I'm pretty tall, so I could see over all the cubicles, right? And I looked around, and at that moment in time, I was the only Black person amongst all these faces. Now, there were other Black people that were there, but there weren't a lot. And the weight that was on my shoulders at that moment, I remember that weight. Like, I have to pass. I have to get through this because I have a responsibility to other Black people that will come after me. And I owe it to the ones that came before me to get through this program as tough as it is. As much as I wanted to quit. I want to quit. If you go a year earlier from this point where I'm standing up and looking at all these faces, my grandmother had passed away while I was in my first school. And I'll tell y'all that story one day. I might do it as a YouTube short. All right. My grandmother had passed away, and I remember they knocked on my door. I had a great weekend. They knocked on my door and told me my grandmother passed away. Now, at the time, I wasn't making a lot of money. Excuse me, you all. My friend is trying to call me. She passed away, and I probably could have scraped some money to the side to get home, but I knew if I would have went back home, I was going to quit. If I'd have went back home for my grandmother's funeral, I didn't even go for my grandmother's funeral because I knew if I would have went back to that funeral, I would have quit nuclear engineering. It would have been done. It would have never happened. Much less me going back. Do you understand? Gents, do you understand? I would have quit. I would have given up. And I said, I knew how much me being in the military meant to her. And I knew how much me getting accepted, because this woman was very smart, very intelligent. I'm talking about she does crossword puzzles in pen. And she rarely makes mistakes. I'm just putting it out there. She does all these intricate puzzles and she does them in ink pen. Not pencil, ink pen. That's how smart she was. Very good. Very, very, she loved people. It was so annoyingly so my grandmother loved people. Okay? Hence, I love them too. And I don't even know why. Because you guys suck. Just want to see if anybody else listening in the chat. You guys suck. Just playing. Love you guys. I appreciate you all. But back to the story. So I stayed. I did not go home because if I'd have left, I would have failed out. That would have disappointed her more than me going. So I pushed through. I dedicate my time in the military to that woman. Was she the best grandmother ever? No. Not gonna lie to you. But when I was homeless on the street at 18, you remember when we started this out, when I talked about this in the live stream? When I started this live stream, I told you I was homeless 3 times, one of which is right after high school, where I became homeless. At one point, when I didn't have food, it was my grandmother who fed me, who didn't have a lot herself, but she would give me food. I ate so much oatmeal and farina and powdered milk. So that woman inspired me to keep going. And I stood up that day in the cubicle a year or so later, a little bit over a year later, and I looked around, and what did I see? I saw that I have a responsibility. My shoulders have to be a little bit more broader so that I can get through this program, so that I can be an example. I don't even think my own kids appreciate that. I recently had a fight with my daughter, one of my daughters, probably both of them now. And y'all don't even know that. I'm going through that right now. And I don't think they understand the sacrifices that I've made. Yeah, it looked like I'm kicked back right now and I'm taking it easy. But I fucking killed myself for you all, for them. Excuse my French. They'll never know what I had to endure and what I put up with. People will never understand what you deal with, what you deal with. Despite people putting you down, despite having limitations, despite the fact that you may not come in the package that they want you to, because you don't sound a certain way, because maybe you don't speak as eloquent as someone else. Maybe you're not pretty enough. Maybe you're not fast enough. Maybe you're not strong enough. So people doubt you. People put you down. People aren't willing to rock with you. People are not willing to stick there while you grow and get better. Now, I was about to curse again, but F them. F them. You find it inside yourself and you push on for the greater good. Find your purpose. See, the other title to this would have been Find Your Purpose. Because when you have your purpose, okay, when you have your purpose, it doesn't matter what the world says. You have to block people out. The purpose is bigger than them. There are people right now that don't understand what the hell I'm doing because they don't see the bigger picture. And I won't tell them my dreams because I won't let people that can't see the vision trample on my goddamn dreams when I'm doing it to make them better. Do you hear what I'm saying, somebody? I'm not going to let people trample over my dream when I'm looking out for others. If you're going to sit there and you're going to judge, if you're going to sit there and you're going to look down upon me, if you're going to sit there and not understand, you're going to sit there and you're going to talk back to me, you're going to sit there and not listen, then get on with yourself. I don't need you here. Bye. This is bigger than you. When you have a purpose that is bigger than you, especially one of good intent, where you're there to try to help others be better, but you're helping yourself in the same time. When your purpose is that big and people don't understand, do not get discouraged. Do not let them get you down. Don't let them steal your joy. Don't let people steal your joy. Don't let people take that away from you. Don't let people hold you back. Don't let the negative naysayers stop you from achieving what is yours. You only have one life that we know of. I don't care what you believe. You haven't been there, nobody else has. Believe what you believe, but you won't know what the next plane of existence has until you get there. So right now, you have to live in the now and the moment. What are you doing with that time? Are you wasting your time? Because I've said it before, the only thing we have is time and health. And when those things are gone, you're not here. Let's get back to the chat. Neil says, oh, man. Henry says, no one knows about the blood, sweat, and tears, man. They don't know about the grind. People that know about the grind may not agree with everything you're doing, you, me, but they can respect it. That hustle recognize hustle, real recognize real. See, I know you know that, right? Neil says, yes, this is me. What you saying, real talk. Yes, be you, man. But are you, but this live stream, this episode, or whatever you want to call it, this rendition of the episode had one purpose in mind, which is to inspire you to do more. What is the title of this live stream? This story will inspire you to do more. Isn't that in the title? I hope it inspires you to do more, because I don't know about you, but this story, Zion Clark's story, has inspired me to do a little more than I've been doing. Eleanor says, yeah, it pisses me off when people act like I have it easy. I go through so much every day with my disabilities, mental health struggles, and more. I have two trains of thought. On the mental health side, people will not understand it. My daughter probably thinks I don't understand her mental health issues and her struggles. But I do. I do. Because I have my own. And I don't get to tell mine, right? I tell it, nobody feels sorry for you if you're a man. That's the truth. As a man, you got to be strong all the time. And people will tell you that's toxic masculinity. You don't have to be hard all the time. Oh, I don't? Oh, I don't? Huh. Life says otherwise. Because life don't give a care that you think that I can just open up to everybody. What about the fact that, if you grew up like I did, showing emotion or opening yourself up is a sign of weakness? That's how you survive. The world ain't changed. I've said this. The world ain't changed. It's still the cruel mess it is. It's just got a bow on it. It's got lipstick. It's lipstick on a pig. It just looks like it's safer. It's not any safer. People are still killing, maiming, and stuff like that. People are still stealing, lying, and deceitful. But then you have people like Zion Clark, stories like Zion's, that we hear, that despite how ugly things are, that man is still a ray of light that we should emulate. What are you doing? What are you doing to make yourself better? What are you doing to improve your situation? What are you doing today that you could be doing a little bit more today than you did yesterday so that you can come out with the best results that you could have? What are you doing? Are you saying, woe is me? Are you trying to improve? I mean, what are you doing? I already said that one. Ellen says, if people don't respect what I do, I move on from them and look for advocates. You know what? Again, it'd be nice to have 1 million followers. Maybe your life changes when you start having that many people follow you. I think, though, it's best to have people that rock with you because they want to be a part of your tribe and they feel your spirit. Not because of some cheap, like on this channel, you're going to get a chuckle here or two when I do a sketch comedy, but that ain't everybody's style of comedy. I'm not for everybody. You may not be for everyone. You may not be everyone's cup of tea, but isn't it beautiful when you meet people that rock with you and they legitimately are happy for you? When they legitimately understand where you're coming from, when your energies matches everybody. If you're new to this channel, I have videos talking about make sure you have people in your corner that you can rock with. Make sure that you have people in your corner that have your back and your best interests in mind. You see what I'm saying? That they're not selfish, that they look for you just like you look out for them. Do you understand? You need people that are going to match your energy and your intensity and your willingness to push forward. Like if you're a positive person, you trying to push forward, you trying to accomplish big things. You think you want negative people around you all the time? I mean, I'm going to the bare bones, simplest way to explain this. Do you want people around you when you trying to do big things, always telling you negativity? And I mean, like, I'm saying this in a literal sense. I want this to be such an extreme example of it because that's exactly what it is. Okay? If you have people, you're not going to make it. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You're not fast enough. We don't like your voice. What are you talking about on this channel? You're silly. I can't. What are you doing? Nobody likes you. Nobody want to listen to you. What if you had that going on every day in your life? And even for a strong person, they would give up. And you know what's worse? When you have people that's supposedly over your back and shoulder, and maybe they're not screaming that in that extreme example, you're not going to make it. You're not good enough. What are you doing? You're too old to be on YouTube. You're not funny enough. You're not fast enough. You're not strong enough. The ones that are eating away at you without saying anything. The ones that's supposed to be in your corner and they're not. They're not even screaming it out. They take a little bit from you. They soul suck from you just a little bit at a time, okay? They just squeeze you out a little bit here at a time. And you wonder why you're getting drained. Who's in your corner? Who's in your life? I have no problem with kicking anybody out of my goddamn life. If me and mom was beefing and she was coming with negativity, I'd cut her off for a little bit. She'd do it to me. I can't wait to get her on the show one day because she'd be like, I ain't having that. And I would say it too. But that's the way we are. My uncle who was on the last live stream, it's the way he is. Right? My side of my family, we don't take nothing from nobody. I ain't got to deal with you. I ain't got to deal with you. We good. We move on. Okay? Let's get back to the chat. I don't even know where I'm at in the chat. Eleanor says, yes, don't let anybody tell you that you aren't great at the Simsational Gent. Eleanor, I appreciate that. But the years of experience I have with that, I've heard this so much. I'm such a self-starter at this point. The me that was standing up there in that cubicle and I didn't see, I felt that big weight on my shoulders to make it through the nuclear engineering program. That shaped me to the man that I am today. To make it despite the odds. That's why Zion Clark's story inspires me too, because it reminds me of the great odds I had to push through to make it through a very tough program. All right. True Gemini, Henry, I agree. People don't know what we go through, but I know at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. We don't need people bringing us down. We do that to ourselves, though the pain we endure. You know what? Henry, bring up a great point. Usually people that push and have intestinal fortitude, self-motivation, those people are usually harder on themselves than people are on them. So imagine you're getting punched from both sides. You're beating yourself up about stuff, and then you got people on the outside of you telling you and being a negative drain on you, and you beating yourself up. I used to have to tell my bosses, like, yo, you ain't got to yell it like that. Trust me, I'm beating myself up. And trust me, the other part to that is not that I would just let it beat me up, but man, I used to let it drive me because I'm like, I'm going to improve. I'm going to get better. Whenever I mess up, I try to get better. I'm not perfect, people, but I do. I will get better. I will train. I will get stronger. I will get faster. Okay. I will make sure that I am doing my part to succeed. Do you hear me? Did y'all hear me? Let's get back to the chat real quick. Elo says, I respect the men that can open up as those that keep it in and leads to problems. I experienced it firsthand in my only relationship. The volcano kept erupting and I didn't take it anymore. Yeah. I mean, look, it's not that I want to make this clear, especially for the men in the chat, for men that might be listening to this later on. And also for you ladies listening, because you may have men in your life that are bottled up and you wonder why. I'm going to make a statement. I am not saying I advocate as a man holding in your feelings to the point where you're not releasing them. That is very unhealthy because that causes stress. And as I've said before in this channel, stress is what kills us. Stress probably takes off more years of your life than you realize because this life is hard. That is what kills you. Along with the foods we eat, you know, they're not helping either. But the stress kills you. So that's why it's good to have that friend, that confidant, somebody that you can trust. If you don't have that, then start writing in a journal. If you don't have someone to be able to express who you are and what you're feeling, and they don't judge you, and they're there and they're supporting you, if you don't have that, you have to find it within yourself. Again, self-starters, do they need help throughout time? Yes. They don't. Nobody does it by themselves. But at the same time, you got to get that out you. So, but you can't tell everybody neither. So if you don't have anybody you can trust in your circle, find somebody. And if you can't find somebody that you trust, speak it out. You know what I love? True Gemini, go check out his channel. He goes out into nature and the spaces and spends time outside absorbing the light from the sun, that vitamin D that's going to give you basically being out in sunlight helps with depression. Okay. I don't know if you guys knew that. But you go out there, brother, and if nobody else is around, what can you do? You can go ahead and just talk out loud to yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with talking to yourself. I talk to myself. Apparently I do. You guys have seen the channel. Go look at some of them skits. That's me talking to myself. Get it out. I am not advocating for men to hold on to their pain and their trauma. What I am saying is, though, you do have to watch who you entrust. I'm not saying never trust, but you have to learn to love and trust yourself first and foremost. If you don't love and trust yourself, then it doesn't matter who you entrust your secrets with. You've just entrusted them to also hurt you and break you as well. Because when you love yourself, someone can do something to you, but when you love yourself, you continue to push on despite. Do you understand what I'm saying? Eleanor says, I watch people who inspire me and believe in me at all points. I am so happy I found you, as you are strong like me, pushing through everything and reflect on the good and the bad. Again, Eleanor, I've been through a lot. I could write a book about it. And I'm glad I found you as well. I'm glad we found each other. I'm glad you were here in the chat today. I really appreciate you being here, especially because you get to share your story. You've shared a little bit with us today about the things you've gone through. And I really appreciate that. Eleanor says, graduating in 4 years, despite most with disabilities graduating in 5, it was my version of honors. And absolutely. And again, you should be proud of what you have accomplished, Eleanor, because you will inspire somebody else. Some of us have to go through certain things to be a light and an example for others, to show others the way, to show others that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be weak. It's okay to have moments of doubt. but people with strength push through. I doubt myself all the time, you know, but I don't let it hold me back. So everyone, I've gone over an hour. I've taken your comments. You have any questions for me? You have any questions? Let me tell you that if you want to know more about Zion's story, I've put in the description of this video a link to Zion's website where you can read and learn about this stuff yourself. You can learn about people, Zion, and read his story for yourself, and even also contribute to Zion and his cause and the thing that he's working towards. All that's available down there. Also, a link down in the description section is also have Living Your Best Life t-shirt, which is available. Also, I have a sweatshirt that you can get. We have ladies shirts in there, and there's a workout shirt in there. And so there are all those things in there. Check it out. There's a link to it down in the description. Living Your Best Life shirt. I didn't wear it today because I wore it to the gym the other day. And it's getting cooler now, so I'll start wearing the sweatshirt here on the live. Not right now, though. I'm hot. So let's see. Eleanor says, all I am doing is trying to live up to my name, which means God's gift of light. That's what your name means, Eleanor? That's outstanding. And that's the thing. We need to live up to our potential. We need to be able to live up to our purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, if you don't know what I mean by purpose, that means something bigger and higher yourself that you're aspiring to. Because, I started thinking about it, and this is the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with. Like people that retire early and they wind up passing away or being a shell of themselves because they feel like they have nothing. That's why you hear so many people that work for so long. You've been grinding for so long that when they tell you, give you your pink slip and put you out the door, you don't know what to do with yourself because you've defined your life by your work, by working. But are you defining your life by your works, your purpose? See, there's work. I go to work to live, not live to work. See, you work to live, not live to work. When you learn that, then you start finding out what is my purpose. And then you start working toward that purpose, that thing that drives you, the thing that you're going to leave behind, the thing that's going to be your legacy. You working at a job for X amount of time isn't necessarily a legacy. That's being under the thumb of the man. What are you going to do? See, like I've accomplished a lot when I was in the military, right? I've done a lot of things. I've had well over 1,600 people that I've been in charge of or directly taught or, been under my care during my time in the military, right? I've had a lot of people under me, and I don't define myself by just my military time. Right now, I am trying to define the purpose of my whole life. See, hopefully I have many more years to go. And if I do, then that time in the military would be just a small time. It'll be just a little bit of who I am that led me and pushed me to my greater destiny. Do you understand what I'm saying, gents and ladies? Do you understand? Your purpose is bigger than you. Today's story about Zion Clark, if you didn't hear or you haven't been here, go back and watch the recorded. That story should inspire you to do more. What are you doing to improve your situation, to do a little bit more than you did yesterday? What are you doing to better yourself? I'm going to take this last one. Eleanor says, my purpose is beyond school for me. Tomorrow I'm going to help build a pollinator garden as it helps me be a part of sustainability activities on campus. That's great, Eleanor. That'll be great to actually help with that around the school. You'll leave a part of yourself with that legacy at that school, and that'll be great to help others and also help the environment. So I really appreciate that. Eleanor, your story is still being written. You still have a lot to go. I still have a lot to go. But you're still writing your story. And as you write that story, you'll look back at this time and you'll say, this was just a pebble. This was just a stepping stone to who I am, bigger portion of who I'm going to be. And I know that's going to be great, whoever you are. are. And I'm not just talking to Eleanor, I'm talking to all of you guys out there listening to the sound of my voice. Thank you very much for being here on today's live stream. I am the Simsational Gent. Listen to me. Do me a favor, you guys. If you to this point, share this video with somebody. I hope Zion's story will be inspirational to somebody. Share this video. I don't care about the likes and all that stuff. Yeah, I hope you subscribe and all that. Share this video with somebody that might need it. Share this with somebody that might need a little bit more strength in their life. Share it with somebody that can use a good word, a little motivation, maybe a little inspiration. Because this story, Zion Clark's story, inspired me. Again, a link to his website is down in the description of this video. I am the Simsational Gent. It has been my pleasure to serve with you guys, to be here with you guys. And as always, live your best life.